once again, Fate Remnant Collide. So let us begin. So, the next day has come as we currently see Rex going back to Signal once again. As it's been about like a month ever since, the first time we met Yang. And so, as he's currently basically there, doing his whole thing, as he would be met by Yang once again, telling him that apparently there's going to be another thing happening. Apparently they're going to be going on a little field trip to go to a nearby kingdom where not really a kingdom but more like a little village where they're going to be doing some like a little bit of huntsman training. It's basically like field work, kind of. So either way, as everybody's going on to the bullhead, including him, he would get ready his weapon, aka Gungnir. He would put it in his suitcase as he would start leaving with the others. So it's been about about 6 months, I guess. Let's just say that. So he has like a few friends now and then, but his main friend is Yang, and apparently he would also learn about her younger sisters, which she is also planning to go to. Well, wait for a second. He would learn that apparently Yang has a little sister by the name of Ruby, or at least half sister. Apparently, he would learn that Tai Yang is a bit of a playboy. And apparently he has two wives. Yeah, let's just say it was an interesting experience. I mean, it was not really too different to his world. I mean, mages would always have multiple wives, or at least most of the time. So it would make sense that, or at least sort of make sense that it would happen here as well. But either way, as he would also learn that apparently she was also planning to go to Signal as well, to also train to be a huntsman. Apparently, she was kind of inspired by Yang and also many other hunters, like, for example, his savior Crow, aka the one that saved him. So, as when they got into the bullhead, they would start leaving to go to that specific village. And so, after arriving there, everybody's basically doing their own thing, basically getting training by several like nearby huntsmen. And as for him, he would be with Yang as they were told to go to where Crow is. As when they arrived there, they would currently see Crow drinking from his flask as he would say this. Alright. As he would start stretching a little bit, as he would see this. You're gonna be training on how to use your aura more effectively, he would say. As he would start looking at Rex and also Yang, as he would say this. So be ready in a few minutes. I'm gonna be in the clearing, okay? As after saying so, he would start leaving towards the clearing, as we currently see, Yang and also Rex there, as Rex would say this. So, you ready? He would say, as she would say this. Hell yeah, she would say, as she would get ready her, gauntlets, which he named Amber Silica. As he would say this. Sure. Just, try not to get in my way, he would say. He would say it with a somewhat arrogant tone, but not too much to sound like a total dickhead. As she would say this. Sure, she would say. As after saying that, they would start leaving to go to where... Wait for a second. But anyway, continuing on, as we currently see them getting ready, as they would finally arrive at the clearing. As he would say this, specifically, Crow, as Crow would say this. You ready? He would say, as he would grab onto his weapon, which was a weapon that resembles a large sword. As this weapon would start changing, transforming into a scythe. As we currently see, Rex getting ready his weapon, aka, not Rongominiad. I mean, it is basically based off Rongominiad, but still. Anyway, I meant his weapon being that of Guy Bold. Not Guy. Okay, I meant, god damn it, wait, Med Gungnir. Sometimes I mix up my mythologies. Anyway, continuing on, as you would transform it into its bow form, as you would get ready a few dust crystals, more specifically, mostly earth ones, as these earth dust crystals would start transforming into basically like rock. Actually, yeah, imagine them similar to like stalactites, but smaller and much more aerodynamic, I guess you could say. As after getting ready, them Yang would also get ready her stance as she would start, charging towards, Crow. as Crow would start using his attacks to, you know, fight her. As he would start moving around with like, full and, you know, full like on, I guess you could say like, craziness, I guess you can say. As after while fighting, we currently see, Rex getting ready his bow as he would start firing at him. While for Yang, Yang would start, trying to punch him, but he would dodge every single time. While for, you know, for Rex's like skill, being that of like, basically like archery at this point, he would start, shooting him down, but not like actually killing him. He would start shooting him at his, sort of like vital spots, like for example his, his ankles and, not really abdomen, but more like, somewhere near that. But thankfully to the but because his aura is shielding him, it doesn't really hurt that much. Mostly because Rex is basically holding back a little bit. So after a few hours of like fighting or at least sparring, they would basically tell they would basically be told by by him that you know that it's time for them to get some rest and he'll be getting some food. After saying that, he would start leaving, saying that they should probably wait there for now. And if they see anything weird happening, try and contact him. So, after saying that, he would start leaving, as we currently see Yang and Rex being alone, together. As he would say this, so that was fun, he would say, as she would say this. Yep. So, I wanted to ask, he would say, as he would say this. Yeah, he would say, as she would say this. I want to ask if, about your semblance. It was definitely weird. As she would say, after saying that, he would say this. Weird in what way, he would say, as she would say this. How you were able to use dust like that. As he would say this. Oh, that, I actually sort of learned it from my mom, he would say, as she would say this. I see, she would say. As after saying that, she would look, look at him once again, as she would say this. Oh, so, about your mom. I heard from my dad that apparently she's, really strict, a really strict person back in his day, she would say, as he would say this. I mean, mom is a bit scary, but she's still pretty much a loving parent, he would say, as she would say this. Hmm, okay, anyway, I also wanted to ask you this, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, what is it? As she would say this. Um, was it true that your village was destroyed before you got adopted? She would say, as he would say this. Oh, yeah, that, he would say. Um, my, well, the one that saved me, my, wait for a second. Sorry about that, let me continue on. As he would say this. Well, I was saved by, Crow. He saved me when I was, I think, 3, he would say. And then I got adopted by her, he would say. As she would say this. So, did you remember anything about your home, she would say. As he would say this. Not really. I mean, I was 3 at the time, so I barely remember anything. Honestly, I don't even know why I even there in the first place. He would say. As she would say this. I see. Hmm. She would say with a, genuine sort of concern. Wait for a second. As before they can continue, they would start hearing rustling in the bushes. As he would say this. Um, um, Yang, she would say, I meant he would say, as she would say this. Yeah, what is it, But before they can say anything else, they would see something in the bushes. Pure blood red eyes. Several of them, in fact. As they would see several Grimm appearing. As these Grimm would be Beowulfs. Sorry about that. Let me just. As when they saw the Grimm, he would say this. Yang, get ready, he would say. As she would say this. Wait, but we're not ready. I mean, as he would say this. Get behind me now, he would say. Or get into a fighting stance now. As after saying that, he would start getting ready his, his Gungnir. As his Gungnir would transform into its boomerang form, which you already saw, in the last video, or if you're sort of like familiar with it. As after transforming it into its boomerang form, he would also see, Yang also getting ready herself, transforming her, her gauntlets into its more shotgun-like form or wrist gun form. As after doing so, she would say this. So we just need to wait for Uncle Crow, right? She would say, as you'd say this. Yeah, he would say. As after saying that, they would start getting ready to fight. And so the fight would begin as we currently see, Rex going to charge at one of the, Beowulfs, as the Beowulf would try to strike at him, but thankfully he would dodge it away, as he would, use his boomerang to basically, cut him down. And if you're wondering, what do you mean by cut him down? Well, the boomerang part, or at least the one that is basically like, in an arrow shape, or at least the edges, are basically super sharp, that it could definitely be used as a sword. As after doing so, he would throw it towards one of the other Beowulfs as it would cut him down. As for Yang, she would start using him as a, range weapon, shooting them down as she would dodge it away thanks to the help of her, gauntlets being used as like, um, as like propulsion. As after a bit of fighting, they would see, several more Grim appear, being that of, Beowulfs again, but this time with some Beowulfs. Not Beowulfs, I meant some Beowulfs and also some Ursa, I meant. As these Ursa would roar at them, as the Beowulfs and Ursa would start charging towards him once again. As during the fight, he would transform, you know, it's, wait for a second, transform his gun gear into, into its halberd form, as he would start striking them in melee style, using a similar, fighting stance to Cuchulainn. As after while fighting, he would see more Beowulfs come out of the forest as the Beowulfs would start charging towards Yang because it seems that, they're not really wanting to deal with, with him right now. As he would say this, shit, he would say. As after saying that, he would transform Gungnir into its bow form as he would start firing it at the Grim, using dust crystals more specifically, ice dust crystals, to create the, an ice shield for her. As after, getting, blocked by the attack, Yang would basically, run a little bit backwards as she would start firing it once again at, some of the Beowulfs that were basically, smart enough to basically just, run to the sides and basically start charging her then. As after, a few more minutes of fighting, they would start to think, what the hell is Crow? He would, like both of them would say. Cut to a different perspective. We currently see Crow, like, in a, restaurant right now, as he's going, like, seriously, how long is it going to take, you would say? As he's currently in a line with, like, several people there. As several of the people were just, like, waiting for their meal. As some guy in the front, in, like, in front of, like, the cashier, going, like, I'll have a... As the cashier's going, like, come on, sir, the line is currently so long that it can probably be considered as a health hazard, he would say. As he would say this. Okay, okay, I'll take, as the cashier's, like, going like, come on, sir, please, hurry up, so I can finally end my shift, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, don't worry, won't take long. I'll take, as the cashier would just, like, bang his head on, like, the, on, on the cash register, as we currently see Crow just, like, going, like, to, just, like, grabbing a, well, his flask once again, as he'd start drinking a little bit. As we go back to Yang and, you know, and him, aka, Rex, as we currently see them still fighting for their lives, as he would say this. I'm still not used to fighting like this. Guess I'll just have to use this then. Hey, Yang, he would say, as she would say this. Yeah, she would say, as you would say this. Better be careful because I'll be using something that you should not be telling, others, he would say. As she would say this. What do you, as you would say this. Gungnir shots, he would say, as he would start firing off, several consecutive, Gungnir shots at the Grim, as the Grim would start, turning into dust instantly. But, unfortunately for him, a Grim would basically appear out of nowhere, getting ready to strike at, Yang from behind, as he would say, shit, Yang, he would say, as Yang would say this. Huh? She would say, as she would look behind her. As the Grim looms over her, the Grim would get ready to strike. But before it actually came, a magic circle would appear. Or I should say a glyph. As the glyph would glow with red energy, somebody would come out. And this person would be. Okay, I'm gonna be ending this episode right off here. So yeah, bye bye.